don't know how.
We tracked down Raymond Sharp.
That's me.
Why? Why did he get out?
A convicted pimp with multiple life sentences is now a free man. Now, the key witness in the case is the criminal justice system failed.
Is there a connection to a story that Chief Investigator George Knapp broke back in 2016? 8 News Now investigator Vanessa Murphy picks up the story to find out how this all happened. Now, we do want to warn you, this story is of a sensitive nature.
This is a night Alicia Grundy will never forget.
He pistol at me. And he beat me for about 20 minutes up and down the stairs. I pretended like he knocked me out. And I heard him like loading guns. And so I jumped up and ran out of the house with just my underwear on.
This was July 2nd, 2011. Grundy identified Raymond Sharp as her longtime pimp and abuser. He was arrested, received 18 convictions, and sent to prison for the rest of his life.
When I heard he exhausted the appeals, that's when I started talking about what I went through in the past, because I figured there was no way he could get out now.
Then in 2016, the 8 News Now investigators reported there was an FBI investigation involving the Las Vegas Metro Police Vice Unit. Cases like Sharp's slowly unraveled. In 2016, Arman Izadi, who had been accused of running a prostitution ring and faced 20 felony charges and a potential life sentence, was offered a plea deal, dwindling the case down to 1 count of pandering and credit for time served. In 2020, convicted pimp Ocean Fleming, who was serving a potential life sentence since 2012, became a free man. And then in February of 2024, after spending 13 years behind bars, Raymond Sharp also became a free man. He's not even on probation.
How did you find out he was released from prison?
My son messaged me.
Marsy's law, passed in Nevada in 2018, is supposed to protect victims and states they should be informed of post-conviction proceedings, but notification is upon request.
He was supposed to be serving his next life sentence in 2086. Like, I didn't think I had to. My first thing was to go into hiding. I just know that he's coming for me. I just don't know how.
We tracked down Raymond Sharp.
That's been almost 13 years for something I didn't do. It was crazy.
This interview almost didn't happen.
Are you going to stay away from Alicia?
I have nothing to say to Alicia.
Can you describe for me what it was like to hear that you were going to be released?
Not good, because I was being released on their terms and not the way it should have been.
Sharp claims there was faulty evidence and argues the judge shouldn't have allowed his case to go to trial 4 days after the addition of 4 new charges. In court documents we obtained, lawyers for Sharp who appealed his case repeatedly point to ineffective counsel, meaning his first attorney, Steve Stein, should have done a better job defending him. Stein has since passed away. There's also one major similarity between these 3 cases which fell apart.
These guys are making ridiculous amounts of money.
Lead Vice Detective Chris Boffman. In text messages to Alicia Grundy, Boffman calls her honey, angel, princess, sweetheart, babe, and beautiful. He texts her a link to a song with our song. And this is just me letting you know I miss you. When can I see you? And I love you.
The police created their own narrative.
But why would they want to do that?
Because Bachman was in love with Alicia.
Then in another twist, Boffman later married the lead prosecutor on the case, Liz Mercer. So when Fleming and Sharp fought their cases, the Clark County District Attorney's Office brought in special prosecutors. Most recently, Joshua Tomshek handled Sharp's case. He agreed to drop Sharp's original conviction and accept a new guilty plea through Alford. That's when a defendant isn't admitting guilt, but they agree there's enough evidence to likely convict them. The case is now reduced to 3 felony charges, including possession of a firearm by an ex-felon, second-degree kidnapping, and coercion with force, all with credit for time served.
I couldn't believe it. I didn't understand how that happened.
We reached out to Special Prosecutor Tom Scheck, who declined to comment. We also made attempts to reach Boffman and Mercer to get their sides of the story. Mercer remains a prosecutor. Boffman no longer works for Metro and was never charged.
Did you feel like he was hitting on you?
Absolutely. But I learned from Sharp manipulation.
Because it was Grundy who turned over those text messages, she says, to help Sharp at the time. She even recanted her story and wrote him letters apologizing for getting him in trouble. Today, she points to Stockholm Syndrome.
You feel sorry for the person that's abused you and you try to protect them.
And fear.
I'm thinking, oh, this guy's gonna get out and he's really gonna kill me this time. And then I would never see my son again.
Sharp still denies the allegations from 2011.
Were you a pimp?
No, I was not.
Never were.
I ain't gonna say I never was, but I hadn't been in that lifestyle since 2000.
What was your relationship with Alicia Grundy?
That's my son's mother.
Were you abusive toward her?
No, I wasn't. Did I kick her? Yes, I kicked her. Was that for a life sentence? No.
Sharp was previously convicted of 3 felonies in California: assault with a deadly weapon in 1983, pimping in 89, and unlawful sex with a minor in 92.
In all 3, I did.
What would you say to someone who watches this and says, this guy is not a saint?
I never said I was a saint, but I never done what they said I done. If I did something, I'll tell you, yes, I did it. This is corruption to the highest. And they need to be held accountable for it.
Grundy says she hasn't slept much after she once thought she could live in peace. She had earned her GED, became a paralegal, and in a first-of-its-kind case, she sued Sharp, who had owned multiple properties and cars before he went to prison. She says she was awarded $2.5 million plus property and then $24.5 million, which she believes she'll never see.
I know that he is revengeful, and I took everything from him. He's 60 years old and starting over.
Do you consider yourself a dangerous person?
Do I consider myself a dangerous person? Well, why would I be a dangerous person? I ain't done nothing to nobody.
Vanessa Murphy, 8 News Now.
It appears no officers were charged as a result of the FBI investigation.